Imagine two kids, born on the exact same day. Right now, their brains are basically identical, just bursting with potential. But fast forward to their 5th birthday party. One of those children could have a brain with significantly less grey matter than the other. And no, that's not a sci-fi movie plot. This is the stunning reality of how being rich versus poor secretly rewires our brains, starting from birth. The world a child grows up in doesn't just shape their memories, it physically sculpts their brain, building the very architecture of their mind. What you're about to learn will completely change how you look at success, struggle, and the incredible power you have to shape your own future. To get how this works, you need to know about a core feature of your brain: neuroplasticity. Think of a new brain not as a finished product, but as a piece of clay. Every single experience, every conversation, every challenge, every sight and sound acts like a sculptor's hand, molding it. This is always happening, but it's never more intense than in early childhood. For a kid growing up in poverty, the tools sculpting that clay are often unrelenting stress and a lack of rich experiences. Let's talk about stress. Not the good kind that pushes you to grow, but what scientists call toxic stress. This is the long-term intense stress that comes from things like not knowing where your next meal is coming from, housing instability, or seeing constant conflict. When you're stressed, your body pumps out a hormone called cortisol. In small bursts, it's a lifesaver. But when a child's world is filled with non-stop uncertainty, the cortisol alarm just never turns off. This has a brutal effect on two key parts of the brain. First, it can cause the amygdala, your brain's little fear detector, to become overactive and hypersensitive. Picture a home alarm system that shrieks every time the wind blows. That's the brain of a child soaked in cortisol. They become hypervigilant, always scanning for danger, because their brain has learned that the world isn't safe. It's a brilliant adaptation for surviving a threatening environment, but it comes with a steep price. That price is paid by the second brain region, the prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain, sitting right behind your forehead, in charge of focus, planning, impulse control, and making smart long-term decisions. We call these executive functions. Toxic stress does the exact opposite to the prefrontal cortex as it does to the amygdala. It can stunt its growth and weaken its connections. Essentially, the brain is forced to steal resources from the parts responsible for learning and reasoning and redirect them to the parts needed for immediate survival. This neurological trade-off gets even worse when you factor in the stimulation gap. You may have heard of a landmark study that found a 30 million word gap between kids from high and low-income families. While the exact number is now debated, the core finding holds up. Kids in poorer homes are often exposed to far fewer words. This isn't about parents loving their kids any less. It's about the sheer cognitive load of poverty. When you're constantly worried about keeping the lights on, you have less mental energy for playing rhyming games. This difference in experience has a direct physical impact. The brain areas for language and reading can show less development in children from lower income backgrounds. Their brains simply haven't had as many chances to build and strengthen those neural pathways. The same goes for other kinds of enrichment, from having books and educational toys to having safe places to run around and explore. So what does this all look like in the real world? Exactly what you'd expect. A child with a hypervigilant amygdala and an underpowered prefrontal cortex is going to have a much harder time in a classroom. They might get labeled as disruptive or unfocused when really their brain is wired for threat detection, not for sitting still to learn fractions. They can struggle with managing their emotions, controlling impulses, and planning for the future. These aren't moral failings or signs of being less than. They are the predictable results of a brain physically shaped by its environment. These early differences play a major role in the academic achievement gap we see in schools. And tragically, the cycle often continues. A brain wired for short-term survival can make it incredibly difficult to seize long-term opportunities. But here is the most important part of this whole story. Your brain is not your destiny. Neuroplasticity, the very force that carves out these challenges, is also the key to overcoming them. The brain can be rewired. So if you're finding this valuable and you want to learn how you can consciously take control and shape your own mind for success, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Because what's coming next could change everything. The science we just covered is pretty heavy, I know, but it holds an incredibly powerful message of hope. If an environment can negatively wire a brain without its consent, then we can intentionally create an environment that wires it for the better. The principles are the same. We just flip the script. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about systematically upgrading your mind's operating system. Let's get into 3 critical ways to do just that. First, deliberately escape the scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset is the psychological ghost of a brain wired for survival. It's that nagging belief that everything, money, time, opportunities, is in short supply, and you'd better hoard what you've got. It gives you tunnel vision, forcing you to focus only on the fire right in front of you, because your brain is screaming that you can't afford to think about next week. This mindset literally dampens the activity in your prefrontal cortex, making big picture planning feel exhausting. To break free, you have to actively cultivate an abundance mindset. This isn't just positive vibes only. It's about retraining your brain to believe that value can be created, not just taken. Start with gratitude. It sounds cheesy, but actively focusing on what you do have starts to train your brain to scan for opportunities instead of threats. Another game changer is to focus on collaboration instead of competition. Scarcity sees someone else's win as your loss. Abundance knows that working together can create a bigger pie for everyone. By consciously choosing to look for potential, you start to quiet that overactive amygdala and give your prefrontal cortex room to breathe. Second, curate your environment like a boss. We've seen how deeply a child's environment shapes their brain. As an adult, you have a superpower they don't. You get to choose your environment. You are the architect of the world your brain lives in. This means curating your information diet with the same care you would your actual diet. Who are you following on social media? Are they people who inspire you with new ideas, or do they just make you feel jealous and broke? What are you reading? Is it filling your head with useful knowledge, or is it just mental junk food? This isn't about being an ostrich and sticking your head in the sand. It's about being the bouncer for your own mind. The same goes for your social circle. There's a popular saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. While that's not a scientific law, the principle is rooted in neuroscience. The attitudes and habits of the people around you are contagious. Hanging out with people who are stuck in scarcity, who complain constantly and see dead ends everywhere, will reinforce that wiring in your own brain. On the flip side, surrounding yourself with growth-oriented people who talk about ideas and opportunities will help you build the neural architecture for success. Third, train your prefrontal cortex. Building success in any field is a game of long-term vision. It's about delaying gratification, choosing to invest instead of splurge, or choosing to learn a new skill instead of binge-watching another series. All of these winning moves are directed by your prefrontal cortex, the very part of the brain that gets sidelined by stress and scarcity. So, one of the most powerful things you can do is give it a regular workout. How? One of the best ways is through mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is like lifting weights for your prefrontal cortex. It trains your ability to focus, to notice your thoughts and impulses without immediately acting on them. This creates a tiny, crucial gap between a trigger and your reaction, allowing your rational, long-term brain to step in before your reactive, emotional brain hijacks the situation. Another powerful method is simple planning. When you sit down and map out a plan for your finances, your career, or your health, you are forcing your prefrontal cortex to get in the driver's seat. You're shifting out of reactive mode and into proactive, strategic thinking. Break your big goals into tiny, manageable steps. Each time you complete a small step and check it off, you get a little hit of dopamine, which reinforces the habit. You are literally using your brain's own reward system to build the skill of thinking long-term. So you have these 2 stories of the brain, 2 sides of the same neuroplastic coin. On one side, we see how an environment of stress and scarcity can wire a brain for pure survival, creating a cycle of disadvantage that's brutally hard to break. It's a story written in cortisol, a hyperactive amygdala, and an underpowered prefrontal cortex. It is a biological reality, not a personal failure. But on the other side is the story of human potential. It's the story of how our brain's amazing ability to change, its neuroplasticity, can be steered. It proves your starting line doesn't have to be your finish line. By understanding these forces, you gain the power to step in and consciously make a change. You can shift from scarcity to abundance. You can curate an environment that feeds your mind, and you can train your prefrontal cortex to be your greatest ally. Your brain is not fixed. It is a dynamic, living thing that is constantly responding to your world and your choices. And if a brain can change, then anything is possible. If you're ready to keep learning how to use brain science to upgrade your life, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the Broke Escape Plan.